What's up, everybody? This is Jimmy with Trading Decoded. It is August 27th, 2024. It is 4:02 in the afternoon. The market is closed. Today was a great day in the first few hours of the day, and then it turned to trash. Fortunately, we caught some very, very good moves, both down and up. Today felt good. Today felt good, especially after a day like yesterday. The poll today is outstanding. Lots of greens compared to those who were red. And true to normal fashion, after 12 o'clock, the reds start to increase in frequency, whereas the greens decrease in frequency. So still a very solid winning day as a community. But if you guys are going to force trades late in the day, especially when the chart's not moving, don't expect to win a whole bunch of them. All right. So with that said, let's go ahead and open up the charts. I took one trade today because that's all I intended on taking today. And I'll show you exactly which one it was. Now, every trade on this chart was talked about minutes before they actually became trades, which is something we really try and do, throughout the day. We were looking for the right setups. We found good setups. We found the good reasoning, and we took the trades. Again, I left a ton of money on the table personally because I vowed to be one and done today. Felt really good about my trade. So did everybody else who took it with me. And we got to make some money. But going into the open, we were clearly trending down. Now, the problem with this morning is that it was very low volume, not the greatest for levels. So when we drew our levels at 8:30 in the morning, there was really not a lot to go off of. We quickly fell out of that range and continued to move down, taking out levels that we had drawn at 8:30. And as we always talk about in these videos, I don't move or change my lines. At 8:30, whatever I got on the chart is what stays on the chart, where it was when we put it there. And when it got to our call put scenario, we were looking for calls if we were able to get above 559.60, and we were looking for puts if we can get below where did we? I don't have a put line here. I must have accidentally deleted it. Shoot. Anyway, we were looking for puts, probably would have been below support right here if I had to guess. And what we were hoping for was a move down to this yellow line. Either way, that did work. But leading into the open, we like to see a break of support. I wouldn't have picked the teal line as an entry because we had support right here. Not quite 20 cents worth of movement, but if we got below this one, we'd be looking for, hopefully, at least down to here, preferably down to here, which it did do either way. So I must have accidentally deleted this line, thinking it was an alert that never got triggered. But nonetheless, when did we actually take our puts? Well, we recognized that we were trending down in the morning, and then we started to put in higher lows into the open. So I was ready for calls. However, if you look at the Qs was very wicky up here and very resistance-like in this area. It was 2 minutes into the day, 9:31. Okay, so the second candle of the day. After that closed, I said, guys, I know a lot of you are considering puts just because of biases and everything else. And at the time, ADD was printing red. Okay. I said, if you're going to take the risk on puts, do so as close to this resistance area up here, which is our call line, or the Q's resistance up here, so that you stand a chance. Because if the Q's hold support down here, or SPY holds support down here, you could still get out of this trade with profit. Okay? So as we moved down, we came back up, we moved down a little bit more, and I said, guys, I'm taking the trade. I'm getting in at this yellow line here. Qs were lined up at resistance here, and what we were aiming for on the Qs was a move back down to this pre-market low, okay, or this line here. So if you look at 938, that's when Qs were down to and through that pre-market low, and that's where I took my profits on that trade. That trade right there was nice. It was about a 38% win, and it felt really good. So we took it as a relatively aggressive entry because it was technically trending up, technically. And then I guess very next candle broke that uptrend. And then we were looking for the move to run down to support, both on SPY or Qs. Qs made it down, and then there was more room to the downside. As you could see, one more candle, two more candles got us lower. For me, I didn't care. A lot of people took that trade and they were done for the day. Guys, I don't know how many of you actually like to work a full 7 or 8 hour day. I got into trading so that I didn't have to do that. Okay. And if you can make a week or two's pay of your normal 8 hour a day, 40 hour a week job in just 4 minutes, why do you stay working? Why do you stay in front of the chart? Now I do, because I'm teaching other people how to spot reasons to take trades, right? That's my job. Because people pay me for that. But in 6 years, when I retire, because my wife retires as a teacher, better believe that if I took this same exact trade 6 years from now and I made the money that I made on this trade, I'm gone. I'm going to enjoy my life. Okay? More trades doesn't equal more money. In fact, you will often find that taking fewer trades, especially if they're better quality trades, will produce more profits than what you're currently doing. You don't have to believe me, but I'm trying to warn you before you find out the hard way, which is something that a lot of people do. Okay, so ask yourself, do you find yourself to be more profitable on the days you take more trades, or do you actually harm what you've achieved in the fewer trades that started the day by the time you get to the end of the day? You ask yourself, if you're successfully taking more trades and you're finding the more trades you take per day, the better your win rate gets or the more money you make, please let me know. I have not found a single person that has answered yes to that question in 2.5 years of me asking it. Okay? Overtrading is a problem for a lot of people. It's not just you as an individual. It's a thing for everybody. It's a thing for me too. That's why I have a 3 trade limit per day. I don't intend to use all 3 of my trades every day. I intend to reach a dollar amount that allows me to pay my bills and put some money in the bank so that I can live my life. That's what I'm chasing, not more. Okay? Now, we were looking at calls shortly after this. What did we talk about for the call scenario? I said, guys, 2 criteria that could have put the call scenario in play regardless. Number 1, if the Qs can get above this resistance right here, okay, this resistance right here, if they get above 472.68, now this time ADD was starting to push back up, I believe, yes, 948. ADD was starting to make its move to the upside. Higher lows on ADD. And we were talking about, hey, if Qs can break that resistance, SPY can break this resistance, they should make it to at least their current high of day. Okay, their current resistance right here, the same place we bought our puts. For SPY, I said to everybody, if Qs gets above that and does run to their next resistance up or their high of day up there, SPY is going to be putting in a new high of day by a lot. So it's the exact words. We were talking about this down here. Okay? So guys, I don't know if I'd get into puts because we got a lot of tight support areas down here on the Qs. And if we can't get lower, we need to watch out for the break above this lower high area. Because if they get above that, it's likely to break good. So I had already vowed to everybody that was the only trade I was taking for the day. Got a lot of people into this trade right here. They got in, they rode it all the way up to the Qs hit this area right here. Okay, so 952. Look at where we exited. 952 if you were here on SPY or up to the next line of resistance. If you stayed in on the Qs. Okay, the Qs kept going. And they got through one line to the next, from that line to the next. Then we pulled back. Well, this could have been an excellent opportunity to buy calls. The problem is you're very close to 10 o'clock. So we skipped buying calls there, okay? We had established an uptrend line from here, right? It got tested here. Another potential entry. What are you looking for? At least a move back up to here, hopefully up to the next line up. If you didn't get into that, guys, at this point, ADD is doing this number. Confidence for calls was through the roof today because of this. This was good momentum in your favor. Look at what happened. So as SPY pulls back to support, 1027. Look at what Qs are doing. Pulling back to support in what? An uptrend. Higher lows. Buy your calls off of pullbacks while ADD is on the rocket ship. This was another trade that we were looking for from line to line. Bingo. Paid very well. All of these trades paid very well. Okay? Then we get up here and we start struggle bussing. So around 11 o'clock, SPY, Qs are having an issue up here. Okay? At this point, ADD is slowing its roll and started to make the round off. This is something we saw coming. After it stopped moving up aggressively, I said to everybody, guys, this might be the beginning of the rounding of ADD. Does this mean that the market's going to tank? No, it doesn't. It just means that the buying that was going on is now slowing down. And if we start moving down with ADD, that could be indicative of some selling that is happening. But before we take that trade, we need to make sure that ADD is moving down, which it started to do before SPY and Qs did. We want to take out two things, just like we talk about every single time in these videos. In order for puts to be on the table, we want to first make sure we break the trend line. And second, make sure we breach support. Okay? Well, we had support here, but it wasn't even this support that we were really focusing on. I told everybody, guys, we got to break the trend line, and I want the Qs and SPY to take out their most recent higher low, period. Well, you got that higher low taken out on this candle on SPY, but at 11:14, Qs breached their most recent higher low. That was the entry candle. So guys, as long as we stay below that 477.49 line, we're looking for a move to go down from here. Where are we looking for? And this is what I told everybody. Word for word, while we were up here, if the Qs breach 477.31, we're going to make a decent move down to 476.52. From my lips to God's ears, it's exactly what I said. Jumped into puts. Not me, bunch of people. 4 minutes later, 5 minutes later, we get the move straight down to that line. Why to that line, Jimmy? Because where is your next support below this one? Just look left. At best, it's here, but we can agree that this line here was a decent support area, right? If you can't see that or you don't understand that, then at the very least, here would have been a support, but we wicked right through it. Now, why did we take profits on this candle? Because on the day, it was still an uptrending day. When we take counter trend trades, we play it to the first support level down. This was a banger of a trade. You got in here, you got out here. Massive win. And why do we follow the Qs? Because if you were looking at the SPY, you probably would have considered taking your profits here or here or here. But the next support down below all that was here. Okay? We were watching the Qs. We watched the Qs all day long. We wanted the Qs to go from here to there. And that's exactly what we did. And then you got out when the Qs got there, which happened to be one of our futures lines, but close enough to this one anyway. Okay? Then we get a pullback, 11:23 to resistance. Now, this was not a line of resistance here, so I wouldn't have bought this pullback here, but always buying in pullbacks during a downtrend is a good thing. However, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Lower highs are bad for what? They're bad for calls. So when you're interested in playing calls and you see lower highs, I would suggest that maybe you wait just a little bit, okay? We had people that were dying to play puts today. So I just said, guys, we're putting in higher lows. Just wait. Just wait. I promise you, we'll get something. They waited, and then they got 70 and 80% wins on this move to the downside. Okay? Just be patient, guys. I lack patience in the morning. I agree with that wholeheartedly, but it's the way I trade. But we can see charts and we can see setups that give us the better odds of winning. You just got to wait for them to happen. Okay? So the next entry was here. We said, guys, if we can get a close below 560.70, we'd be looking for SPY's next support down is the pre-market low line. Okay? Qs, we want to close below that same level, just 475.99. And we talked about this lower high. I said, guys, I didn't have an entry here, but we talked about this trade as well. I said, guys, we just put a lower high on Qs. If the Qs can get through this support, it should run down to 476, which was our next line down. So a lot of people use that information and get into puts aggressively. If you're conservative, you wait for a candle close below that line. If you're aggressive, you might say, hey, lower highs typically mean supports are likely to fail. It is statistically the case. You get in a little early, you take advantage of a bigger move. Or you get in a little early and support doesn't fail and you get stuck. That's why it's better to be conservative, at least until you can afford to not be. All right, but with the candle close, you still got in and made it straight down to 476. But we closed below 476. So now we're looking for the Qs to make it down to this alert here at 474.90. That's why that white line is there. Admittedly, the Qs didn't make it down to that line, but if you got in and you played it down to SPY support level, which was right here, still an excellent time to take a trade and get out. Guys, the chart gave us everything we needed to make money today. And then it stopped giving us things we wanted to make money. Okay. It got very grindy. Volume fell off. I went to lunch right around 12 o'clock. So from here, which is the last play we talked about till 12:02, 12:05, I left. We had a quick move down, a quick move up, and then you had that. That is where red trades start to happen. Theta is extra high later in the day, and when you have no movement in the market, you ain't gonna make money. I don't care who you are. You might be taking baby quick scalps, but there was nothing comfortable about this right here. I spent 2 hours on a microphone begging people not to spend their money on this chart. Okay? 2.5 hours. This, nothing special here. You hold through this at this time of day, even if you get a move in your favor, you're probably going to lose to Theta eventually, or you're going to get the move you wanted, not make as much money as you hoped you would, and hold it longer for more. I watch it happen every single day. This is exactly why I don't trade later in the day. My style of trading, the moves get too slow oftentimes, and if you don't get them quick enough and you get a pullback against you, even if it's not a big one, it's a losing proposition. I learned that the hard way. I used to have no limit and when I would stop trading. And then I looked at my journal and I would see how often my trades after 12 o'clock would result in losing trades. So I said, I can increase my win rate by doing less. Just stop trading after 12. Problem solved. You don't have to force yourself to learn how to trade later in the day. The key is later in the day trading, you got to play next day expirations. Okay, well, I don't hold overnight. I don't play that game anymore. The market's too volatile. There's too much crap going on out there that you have no earthly idea what you're going to wake up to tomorrow. Whether it's war, whether it's politics, you just don't know. You just don't know. Okay, so for me, that's not an option. That's just same as 12 o'clock. And quite frankly, when I choose to do half days on the microphone or I choose to retire, you can bet your bottom dollar if I haven't taken a trade by 12 o'clock, I'm not going to trade for the day. Most of the time, I would tell you if I haven't taken a trade by 10:30, I'm probably not going to take a trade for the day. But nonetheless, hopefully you didn't get chopped up in this. We had fun today. We were doing closing price guess right around 340-ish, 345. I guessed right here where this orange circle is. It was support here. It was support here. It was resistance. That was my guess. 350 candle brought us up. And then straight down we came, and then we got close. We did touch the line, but we didn't close on it. So one of my other members picked 562.13 somewhere up here, which we didn't get to either. So sorry, Mikey. I was closer. Haha. Just messing with you. All right, guys. We're going to wrap it up. If you found any useful information in this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to join our Discord community, we'd love to have you. Please come in. We get new people in there all the time. And for those of you who come in with an open mind, thank you. I hope that you're able to learn something while you're there, whether you become a paying member or not. Another thing I'm going to tell you guys, for those of you who are wondering, because I get asked almost daily, when is the next discount, the quarterly discount for the annual? It's going to be September 1st. It's usually the end of September. I'm doing it September 1st because I'm actually going to change the price of the annual to be the discounted price. And that will just be the case any day of the week going forward. Trying to remember when to put these on and who does what when, and answering that question. It's easier just to make it the discounted price all the time. So if you're waiting for that September 1st, it will be that price, the discounted rate, going forward forever. All right. And with that, I hope you guys made some money today. And till tomorrow, I love you guys. See you.